If I'm speaking to anybody, like especially for those of y'all watching the replay, I'll just go ahead and ask you, have you ever been in a situation where you gave a guy a chance, maybe even 2 or 3 chances, maybe even 10 or 15 chances, and he wasted them all, he fumbled you, and then you finally said, you know what, I give up, I don't need to see no more, I'm good, peace. And then the moment you actually said bye, when you actually left, all of this effort came forth, all of this remorse and regret was shown. All of the I'm sorry's, all of the I'll go and talk to the lady, everything that you were asking for from this man showed up once you finally said goodbye. Once you actually left, and it confuses you because you're like, hold on, why is it that when I wanted you, when I was invested, when I was trying to see if we can make this thing work, you didn't want to show up, but now that I'm gone, all of a sudden you want to act right, you want to apologize, you want to drop everything, you want to get help, you want to make me your priority, you want to be transparent. Put I down in the chat if I'm speaking to anybody that's been in that situation. You were in a relationship with him, didn't care, neglected you. You were sitting there basically begging for basic human decency and respect, much less love, more than the bare minimum. But the moment that you finally left, here come the knight in white shining armor you always wanted. You didn't even want that, like to that level, you ain't expect it, but now he's ready to be consistent. Put I down in the chat if you've ever been there. Because I got this question from a young lady after my last webinar. It's actually my new webinar, how to stop being his internship. I'll put the link, but moderators, put the link down in the comments if you haven't already. I don't feel like looking. But she said, D, why is it that a guy will mistreat you, mishandle you, and then whenever you leave him, all of a sudden he wants to try again? And I'm gonna tell you, just like I told her, sometimes a man don't want you, he wants access to you. That access to you is what was giving him something he was dependent on. Maybe he didn't think he would ever lose it or what have you. But let me just go through a couple of reasons why a guy will put you in that situation, simply so you can have the peace and the clarity, and you don't start doubling back if you fit into any of these categories. Use your discernment, because there are times where a guy, will finally have that epiphany and it's just coincidental, and maybe you want to give it another shot. But then there are times where you're just going to be wasting your time again for the 20th time this time. The first reason why a guy may put you in that situation is because it's strictly manipulation. Manipulation is all about power. That's all it's about. And what happens is you leave a man, you take away access, both in conversation, physically, sexually, whatever. He loses that power. So to stay in your space, to continue texting you, to be the good guy all of a sudden, to want to go see the lady, all the things that he thinks will pull on those emotional heartstrings is all about, hey, how can I either keep this level of power where she's entertaining me, seeing if I'm gonna be consistent, or how can I get the power that I once upon a time had back? Why? Because when a manipulator loses you or loses access to you, you take that power, you really take their identity. The entire identity of a manipulator is predicated on power. And when you take away that access, he has no more power to influence you, no more power to consume and enjoy you, no more power to persuade you, no more power to depend or lean on you in any way. So sometimes a guy will keep in your mix and just to be manipulative. Another reason why is because he may be dependent. I said this some years ago and it became a popular phrase, but some men don't want love, they want help. They want help, they need a place to stay. Y'all would be surprised at how many men are walking around with negative account balances, sleep peacefully at night because they got a girl they know is always gonna give them $20, $40, let them use the card, let them use her car because she got gas and he don't, or he may not even have a car. I'm not here broke shaming nobody, I've been there myself before. But I'm talking about men who use you, not love you, but use you because you're making better decisions, because you're being financially responsible. So the moment that you leave that man, you just took his meal plan. You were his income. You were the roof over his head. So of course he's gonna try to do everything he can to get back because he need a place to stay. They're just keeping it real with you. Another reason why a guy would do that, after the relationship ends, all of a sudden he's trying to give you and do everything, give you the moon, the sun, and the stars, is strictly because of guilt. And this is one of the easiest things to kind of confuse. It's like, okay, well, maybe he's remorseful. He regrets what he did. If given another shot, he would do things differently. No, he's just guilty. He has a guilty conscience. He hurt a good woman. Maybe he thought he wouldn't get caught and therefore you can never get hurt. And now that you have found him out, or now that you've expressed just how deeply he wounded you, it's like, dang, man, I ain't mean to do that. He may not have had a bad heart in terms of like being malicious and vile enough to want to break you down and damage you forever. But he was being reckless and irresponsible, maybe indulgent in his flesh, or maybe neglectful, whatever it may be. Not giving any excuses whatsoever, but sometimes a guy will want another chance just to soothe his guilty conscience. It ain't because he's done the work. It ain't because he's actually ready or prepared to show up better. It ain't because he's went and got the mentorship necessary. It ain't because he did the shadow work and the therapy or any of that stuff. It's because he has a guilty conscience, and them demons is tearing his hind up at night. Oh, they on his neck. Y'all will be surprised, man. You know, I always heard this thing. I was never a gangster in the streets or whatever, but I was around some people. And one thing that the dude told me is like, man, you see people talk about murdering, how cool it is. But all of those dudes that did something to that level, to that degree, just like senselessly did something, they don't sleep at night. He told me that. He was like, man, the bad guys that do all this, they don't sleep at night. And you know what? The same goes for dudes who murder a woman's heart, murder her ability to love herself, murder a relationship or a family. Like, they don't sleep at night, man. They don't sleep at night. So sometimes a guy wants to get back in because doing that is the only way he can have a chance to rewrite the whole story. And because he actually wants you, but because he wants his clear conscience back again. That denial gave him a clear conscience before. Now he ain't even got that. And one more reason why a guy will fumble you, mistreat you, mishandle you, and then after the relationship ends, after you end the relationship, all of a sudden he don't want to leave you alone. This one I really got to talk about. Fear. Fear that he about to see you get treated well. Know in the back of his mind you getting dug out, folded up, bent up, pinned back. I mean, I'm talking about that chest hurting visualization is really, really on his mind right now. That's all. It's all fear. The fear comes from, and the reason why he has fear now, it's like, why didn't he have the fear before? I told him I was going to leave him. I told him if he wouldn't do me right, I'll go find another man. Them consequences don't become real until they right up in your face. It's just like if you ever drank or smoked or maybe just been in a bad situation, almost pregnant by somebody you didn't want to be pregnant by, a car wreck, anything. You know, it's like all of a sudden you find that relationship with God. I've been there before. You find that relationship with God. Like, oh man, Lord, please. Because now the threat is real. The consequences are real to you. Before, you wasn't really thinking about them. And so the consequences of a man that mishandles you is another man coming in and doing everything for you that you was asking for from your man, but now he gets to do it better. I'm talking about, I just looked at TikTok a couple of days ago. There was a video of a guy, I think he cheated with like 17 women. His wife was like, oh, I don't want a divorce. No, it's all good. I don't want your apology either. That's what she said. It was worse than divorce. She said, now it's my turn. Now it's my turn to have you in here sitting up all night wondering where I'm at. Don't ask no questions. Now it's my turn to go out and have my fun. We're not getting no divorce. We just gonna keep it open. The panic in that man's voice when she was saying that, boy, y'all think the worst thing for a man in this situation is to lose half, lose his kid. No, I could, secondhand, I could feel my chest hurting for this brother. Please, whatever you do, don't do that. We ain't gotta do that. I go to counseling, I do this, that, and the other. That fear was setting in. Sometimes a guy will hover in your space, want another chance because now he can't sleep right knowing that you really about to go out here and another man is gonna have a chance to do what he didn't do whenever he had the chance. It's like, you know, if you're on vacation, I know it still don't make sense to some of y'all, but if you're on vacation, you may be enjoying the most beautiful Hawaii, Tulum, Bali vacation. You may be on a whole vacation tour having a good old time, but let's say you get a call that your house then got flooded and burned down right after that, and there's nothing left. You're not gonna be able to enjoy that vacation no more. Like, yeah, Hawaii's beaches are really nice, but when you get back home, you're gonna be under a bridge, right? You're gonna be in a shelter. You're not feeling good about this situation no more. So that's what's going on. I know it sounds crazy. I know it don't make no sense to y'all, but hopefully it's crystal clear now that when a guy is begging, pleading, it probably has a lot less to do with you and a lot more to do with they appetite about to be missing for about a good week because they thinking about with their competition, which they never really felt like was competition before because you were so faithful and loyal and in tunnel vision what their competition about to be doing to you. Oh man, everything was all good. It's all fun until the rabbit got the gun. Everything all good when he think about living at home, man. It's all settled, it's all straight. But as soon as at home, about to go and be somebody else's vacation or whatever it is that you got planned. And this is why it's so important to deal with guys who not only want you, but value you. To deal with guys who know what they want and they see it in you. Not just can articulate it, but they can show it on a regular basis. Because otherwise you end up being a guy's internship, because that's also another reason. Like a dude, well, that's actually the part 2 to this. A dude will mishandle you, fumble you, blah, 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 blah. And then in the next relationship, go and do everything for the next woman. And that's what I call an internship. Actually, I just broke this down in the free masterclass. So if you have not yet, this probably is my most powerful masterclass to date, and it's absolutely free. And if you want access to it before I stop allowing people to see it, because I always offer these for a limited amount of time, click the link that you see pinned down in the comments, go ahead and register, or in the caption whenever you back out. How to stop being his internship. You know, wherever you give him some tools and skills for him to go to another person's job and perform at a very high level and take that company to the next level. If you've ever been in that situation, click that link, get access to that masterclass. Man, by the feedback, it's been crazy so far. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Just because a guy's begging for another chance, don't mean he's gonna do better by that next chance, if you were to give it to him. Sometimes a guy's just asking for another opportunity to waste your time like he did before, but this time with more skill, this time hiding it better. This time he may sink his hooks into you more deeply so that it's even harder for you to leave. So with your discernment, if you're evaluating the situation and you don't believe this is a truly repentant man, this is a man who has put in the work, or you've lost all access to the love that you once had for him, you see him differently, the respect is gone, you're repulsed by him, you'd be better off simply allowing bygones to be bygones. Forgive that man, release yourself from everything he's done to you, and also release yourself from the man who did it so he can't do it again. But those are just my thoughts. If I'm your internet brother trying to look out for you, that's it. And if you got something from this, show me by hitting that share button. Bless somebody else on your timeline. I don't need your money. I don't ask for your money. I just ask that you pay it forward to somebody else if you got something out of this. And if you are trying to make sure that you never become another man's internship, or if you're thinking your current relationship may be an internship and you want to know the signs to look for, you want to know how to pivot up out of that, click the link, because for free, I gave you everything that you need to know to keep yourself from being in that situation in my free masterclass, how to stop being his internship and finally receive your blessing. Again, that link is pinned right here. I already see it. It's also in the caption whenever you back out. Holla at y'all later. Y'all be good. Peace.